Are there any comments or questions from Mrs. Friday?
Sure. Number one, I'm very offended, and I have respected each and every one of you all, whether or not I agree with you. I have a right to vote my conscience. When I voted to reinstate Dr. Amakade, it was taking the advice of the hearing officer. I'm one vote. Secondly, when you called the meeting on Friday, I was out of town at a conference. Had I been in town, I would have been here, just like I wasn't at the meeting on Wednesday because I was out of town. You were aware I was out of town because I made it known. I emailed you that I was out of town. If you were really concerned about my vote, me being involved with the process, you could have waited like you're waiting today. But you did that purposely. When you said there's a conspiracy, are you saying that I'm a part of that conspiracy? I want to be very clear. Are you saying that I'm a part of a conspiracy?
What I'm stating is the vote to give away that money, knowing that, I know I didn't know, but knowing that Dr. Amakade was receiving TRS is and it wasn't noted to the full board, is a conspiracy to commit fraud to the taxpayers, and I believe that this board owes the community apology for that.
Okay, and my response to that will be, I found out just like you found out. Okay. I did not know any sooner than you knew. We all got the email with the attachment at the same time, Madam Chair. So again, it's offensive for you to include me in any form of any type of conspiracy. That's not how I work, and you know that personally.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other comments, questions?
Yes, I have some comments.
Dr. Morgan?
And I don't have any questions because I don't feel you can answer any questions.
Well, yeah.
Well, I voted with you for 6 months, putting in nobody but people that you knew. Not one time did you put in any recommendation on this board. And I'm not going to recommend anybody to this board that is not qualified, highly qualified, credentialed people, highly educated people, and highly experienced people who have had a record of success. Now, one of these people that you put in, you put in all of the people that you chose to put in. When it was time, I waited 3 months, and then 5 months, and then 6 months, because I got on this board because I'm about children.
Okay.
Not once, I'm not finished. Not once, you've been cutting me off ever since you've been in that chair. Not once have you supported me in your campaign promises to work with me to turn this school district around and support excellence in public education. Not once have you done that. I feel insulted. This is not something that we should be discussing in open session because the people do not know the details of it, and they never will know the details of it because they never will know who you are, Cheryl Coleman. Now, one thing has changed on this board. You are still engaging in school improvement shutdowns in direct contradiction to your campaign promises and what school boards are about. Improving student performance levels and then productively engaging the school district community to achieve this goal. You are angry at me and lying on me some more because I stopped voting with you. I got on this board because I'm about children. And I will continue to be about children. I don't care how much you lie on me. And for the sake of the community, I don't mind getting on my website and explaining the truth of this matter and what has happened. The Illinois State Board of Education voted to return Dr. Amakade. Not this board. You're trying to overturn the decision of the Illinois State Board of Education and what's in the best interest of children. We have charged Dr. Leak with due process violations. Dr. Markwaday worked under Dr. Leak. She was just following orders. I'm not making excuses for this in the fact that she was following orders from her superintendent. But this had been a practice in this school district long before I got on the board. But I don't see anything that you have done to improve student performance levels. You appear to be what you are really not.
Okay,
And
thank you.
speaking of fraud, you are the expert in residence. And I don't appreciate, I'm voting my conscience on this board, and I'm voting what I understand the law to be. And I think I understand school law better than you do.
Thank you, Dr. Morgan. Mrs. Owens?
Yes. There have been an awful lot of misstatements, lies, twisting of facts provided to all of you. Your invitation to be here is part of a conspiracy on the part of the board president. From the very beginning, starting with the firing of Dr. Leak, firing of Dr. Immaculate, sending Dr. McDonald home without any kind of explanation to the board prior to the end of her employment, firing of other personnel just because. And so far as this business of kicking kids out, that's a lie. These students each had a hearing with the administrative council. That is not kicking kids out. Their parents were present. They were administratively placed in an alternative placement. And to say they were kicked out is not true. Not one of them has filed a suit. Not one of them has come to this board meeting and complained. You've heard some people complain, but they weren't the people on that list. So that's incorrect. And the other thing is, the board that was seated in 2007, 2008, 2009 established the administrative council to hear students, to give them a hearing with their parents, to give them due process, and it was that board that put this whole process in motion. So every superintendent from Howard Honeygan to Dr. Leak and on down, they were following the direction of the board at that time. So this wasn't something that was created under Dr. Leak. It was created, again, it was created by the board. And it was because so many students at different schools were being kicked out. They were virtually kicked out. They were sent to placements without due process, without their parents having adequate hearing and representation. So there's a history here. And these people are twisting the history because of their vindictive attitudes and feelings towards certain individuals. You are being given wrong information. You are being lied to. You are being corralled here to listen to someone put all that personal information that we discussed in closed session on the screen. That's grandstanding. That's smearing. That's humiliating. And it's disgusting.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, I hardly know where to begin. I call it informing. I call it transparency. First of all, when you say that the audience doesn't know what's going on here, they know very well what is going on here. Dr. Morgan, I hope never to hear you call anyone else a liar. You are a prolific liar, and I have first-hand information because you lied on me. You've lied to this community about your experiences at CPS. I know what happened at CPS. Ombudsman, there is no one sitting in this room that would want their child sent to a 3-hour computer-based program. All I hear about is people who have lost their jobs, people with degrees that ought to be able to go someplace else, but they can't. I haven't heard anybody say anything about the children that were railroaded over there. We met a boy that had been an ombudsman for 3 years and was going back for his 4th year had we not eliminated the program. That's right. He's lost his entire high school experience. That's who we should feel sorry for, not these grown people that can't get jobs anyplace else.
Mr. Bass?
Yes. I'm going to just say a couple of just things. First of all, the superintendent recommend hiring and firing, not you, Dr. Morgan. If you want to be a superintendent, you should have went ahead and applied for a job and not got on the school.
Well, you did all the hiring and
Dr.
firing,
Morgan,
not me.
there will be one person to speak to
Well,
that.
I would like to speak to that.
Mr. Bass's opportunity, sir. You'll come next.
I know you're going to allow your 3
Dr.
colleagues to
Morgan.
speak.
Dr. Morgan, please respect. Go ahead, Mr. Bass. I'm sorry.
I'm not going to go back and forth with a lot of stuff
I
because
hope you don't.
Dr. Morgan, point of order.
at the end of the day, if somebody's throwing off things that are not true about the individual, the individual can always get an attorney and sue, kind of like I did. So I'm not worried about everything you read up there. Everything you read is absolutely true. But there's one particular thing that really, really makes me mad is that ombudsman piece. We are here because of the ombudsman piece. And I want to go back, and actually I want to apologize to a lot of kids in the last decade that left here unprepared for the workplace. That's our fault because we did not do what we need to do to change the school district. We sat around and we waited and we waited. And trust me, the academics are not where they should be at because we were sleeping. That ombudsman really makes me mad because that's $500,000 guaranteed to go to some place that provides an education, not even education, a babysitting service for 3 hours a day. No other school was paying $500,000 to this entity. And it's a private entity. So we could have sent kids to Marion for $500,000. But a particular entity, if you, at the end of the day, are an educator, got a PhD, and you're the superintendent, it's not the board's job to know school law. It's the superintendent to know what's right or wrong to inform the board. The board is not supposed to inform the superintendent of what's right or wrong. That ombudsman, people should be in jail for that. Well, I'm done.
Mr. Makade, what he wants.
She's first before me.
No, she's already spoken once, sir. I can come back to her.
Okay, I would like to say something. My name is Emmanuel Mokhode. Mine will be so brief. I am a board member here. I have never been employed by this district or received any salary by this district. That my name is included here appears to be a personal vendetta by whoever prepared this agenda, trying to smear my name. I have served this community for almost 25% of my life. I started serving as a trustee of Martison. Not a stain on my name. I served Martison I was involved in the life of Martison for almost 20 years. I've been on this board, I'm on my 8th year here, and my name is being smeared. Let alone that of Dr. Imokhode. We have served this community diligently, served a lot of our children positively. Just as my colleagues said, you are working for a boss, the boss of all our staff is the board. The board made a decision to establish the administrative council. Her superintendent appointed her. They followed the rules of the administrative council. Did she do anything wrong? Did the superintendent do anything wrong as well? No. But someone just wanted to smear people, to damage the character of people. That is wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Mrs. Coleman, I will not fight you personally. I am laying this before our God, whatever you've done, I think our God doesn't sleep. And to this community, I'm not giving up on you. I have done a lot of positive things. I served as a Boy Scout master for many years. I served on the Boy Scout Executive Council. I've done a lot of things. There are some of your teachers that went through me. Dr. Imohole served as a Girl Scout leader for many years. She has an impeccable reputation. She never defrauded anybody. Someone is concocting this nonsense. Yes, the beauty of America is that we have a legal system. The legal system will take care of it. Lies don't survive in the legal system. That was why the Illinois State Board of Education said that the decision to dismiss Dr. Imohole was arbitrary and capricious. Go and look at the meaning of capricious. That is malicious. That is with some very poisonous venom. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not continue talking about this. Let's move on.